Let's try that again. Welcome. How's everybody doing tonight? Frog came back. Welcome back, Frog. So, my partner in crime, Mike, is not with us here tonight. He has other things going on. Not a problem. It's just you in the chat. Right, me and chat. No you. All right. So, couple announcements. Next week, I'm pretty sure I have my cross collab partner coming on the show for in talking about his game. His game is going to be a RPG that uses cards that's based in the Caribbean mythology. It sounds really interesting. The week after that, on the 25th, I think it is. 2 weeks after that, on the 25th, I'm going to have a map maker on who makes coloring books of her maps. It looks really fun and really interesting. So we're going to talk to her on the 25th. That being said, let's get to some news. There's not much news. There are quite a few crowdfunding things, though, that I have going on. So we'll take a look at the crowdfunding, and then we'll go from there. It's probably going to be a short stream because I'm kind of talking to myself, except unless you guys start messaging in chat, it's pretty much talking to myself. So here we go. Let's go over to the Geekout page. This is linked in the YouTube if you are using YouTube. So the very first thing actually happened about a couple days ago. The Unearthed Arcana is going to be released with 8 new Forgotten Realms. Interested. So Wizard of the Coast is releasing an Unearthed Arcana playtest that's going to have a whole bunch of different subclasses in it from Forgotten Realms series. So they have the College of the Moon, which makes sense. Knowledge Domain, which makes sense. The Purple Dragon Knight, which totally makes sense. If you're not familiar with Forgotten Realms, well, you should be. Forgotten Realms is pretty popular. You got the Blade Singer, you got the Spellfire Sorcerer, the Scion of Three Rogue, the Winter Walker, and the Oath of the Noble Genies. All seem really could be cool. Could be interesting. Looking forward to seeing what they have up their sleeves. So far the 2024 stuff isn't horrible. It's not amazing, in my opinion. We'll be interested in seeing what they add to it. What one you gonna try first? I probably, if I was going to play, I probably try the Purple Dragon Knight, because a Dragon Knight, I'll be interested in seeing how that one plays. What they do to add to the fighter to make it seem interesting, if they do anything else. Or the Blade Singer. The Blade Singer would be a nice one too. It's nice that they're adding Forgotten Realms into the new series. And that comes out November 11th, so that's right around the corner. Let's see. The next thing is Pathfinder 2 announced yesterday that the new Battlecry rulebook from Paizo is going to add Commander and Guardian Martial classes to the game. And they... I always say this wrong. The Norse giants, the Jotobern. I still said it wrong, but you guys get the point. But they're kind of giant that hails from an alternate plane of existence. The Jotun uh, tend to giant beetles whose silk is used to create glowing subdermal ritualistic markings. So that seems interesting. And they're adding a new adventure path called Hellbreakers, which was announced, which was also will follow a war between the democratic country of Andorian and the devil-backed nation of Chiliax. I don't know Pathfinder lore that well, but this is the type of ancestry I would play. So, looking forward to that. So Battlecry releases this summer, and Hellbreakers releases early 2026. So, again, not much news. Last but not least, this one happened a while ago, January 23rd. The RPG and Dungeon Dragons subreddits, both who have very toxic people in their systems already, in my opinion, because I have tried publishing to Ironbound to this and got a whole bunch of bad feedback. So, they're supposedly supposed to be blocking anything coming from Twitter or X, or however you want to call it, from their posts. That's like a horse calling a horse a donkey. In my opinion, I've had bad experiences on the RPG. Frog can pre-order a copy today. Oh, a physical copy. No, you can't pre-order a physical copy. There won't be pre-ordering of physical copies. You have to. It will be when it releases. You'll be able to order them. Unfortunately, my provider that I'm going through does not have pre-orders for physical copies. You know, there might be a way that I can do that. Let me look into it. I just thought of a way that I could do it. Crowdfunding. The first one. Yeah, it's coming. I mean, it's coming. It's going to get released between March and April. So, you should have it. It should be very soon, Frog, that you can get one. The first Kickstarter is ending soon. We've already talked about this one on the channel. Hey, my birthday's in March too. We've already put this one on the channel before, but I wanted to point out that they had a goal of $10,000 and made $333,000. That's pretty damn good. It's a 5e dinosaur hunting book. It still looks cool. I'm sad that it's 5e and not its own system, but dinosaurs in 5e, I'm all for it. This one is its own system. Wait, when you said March 2nd, you don't mean the 2nd, do you? Yeah, my birthday's March 2nd. Cool. It's also Dr. Seuss's birthday. Trust me, I had that shoved down my throat as a child. Oh, you have the same birthday as Dr. Seuss. Yeah. Thank you. I wanted to have the same birthday as a racist. I mean, everybody was racist back then, but... Oh, and John Bon Jovi, yeah. Alright. Mappy Monday. Mappy Monday. It's got 27 days left. It's its own RPG. I didn't find anything... It only uses 4 dice, so D4, D6, D8, D12. Non-combat gameplay means narrators don't need to concern themselves with issues of balancing or hampering. It sounded interesting when I watched the video. Um, Plus, I'm always good for indie developers to try to get their stuff out. And there's a bunch of add-ons. What people are saying, community license. They're going to have a community license. There's free resources. There's reviews. There's actual plays. There's interviews. So, like, they have a full system. It basically, I don't know. I don't know if people are hearing that. They're not. But basically, it's an exploration type RPG. So you're exploring the world and jotting it down and writing it down and creating. Yeah, you probably heard it through. Yeah. But they're kind of like, it's interesting. I think it could be interesting. Um, and it has 433 backers. That's nothing. That's nothing to chime away. Um, all right, Shadow Dark. This is a adventure path for Shadow Dark. I want to play Shadow Dark. I have not had a chance to play Shadow Dark. I really want to play Shadow Dark. I might have to run it on the system just to play it, but I can't get a copy. I've tried everything to get a copy. But yeah, so Shadow Dark. 3 new classes, spells, beasts, domains, and 3 adventures. It's all the occult situation, so it's ethereal. Shadow Dark is a dungeon crawling system made by Kelsey. I forgot her last name, and that's horrible. But she made the system that your torches are real time, so you have an hour of torchlight when you light a torch, and it goes for an hour. So if you run out of light, bad things can happen. So you really want to have enough torches. But it's more than that. It's like a rules light D&D feel. It's a dungeon delver, so it has some of that OSR feel. So that's why a lot of people like it. 19 level mega dungeon for Shadow Dark. I like rules light. That is 100% my agreement to Musical Rogue. I like rules light. It's definitely my favorite. Note to self, pack as many torches as possible. You can't really carry that much in Shadow Dark. That's the reason why it's important to handle your resources properly. Speaking of Shadow Dark, this is a 19 level mega dungeon designed for Shadow Dark. That being said, I think you could use this in other things too. I don't think it's specific to Shadow Dark. I mean, it has Shadow Dark monsters, but you could easily use this for other things. It's 19 interconnected levels with black and white maps. Alright, you have a nice night, Frog. It's going to be filled by drive-through. I think it's going to be cool. I might actually back this one because I think I could use that dungeon for other things. I don't play Shadow Dark, but I think I could use it to play Plaguebound or other things like that. We have, I'm going to say this wrong, Metanthropos Analogies. It's a zine. It's immersive digital experience. I'm not fully sure I follow what they're doing here, and I think that's the reason why it's struggling to meet its goals. because I'm not sure like what they're doing. It looks like they have their own RPG system, um, but then it talks about how it's 3 worlds, 3 zines, premium Foundry models, so you can't even play the multiverse together. Um, it's a D100 system, so it's going to be flexible and easy. Um, I I might try it, but they got 20 days to make it to their goal. I don't know if they're going to. Um, all right, this one was cool. This one was. I'm going to turn my volume down. This one, because it really shows it when you play it. This is a 3D terrain. It's a RPG system where you can actually reposition things and do things, and it's a giant gothic city. There's 70 different pieces that you can get, and you can just rebuild them however you want. It's kind of really cool. I'm not kidding. Like, it is STLs, so you have to have a 3D printer, but it's really kind of cool. So they're not printing and selling these things, but you can print yourself, and it looks cool. I won't lie. I'm probably gonna back this because I have a 3D printer. Makes me want to find a group to play with in person. Exactly. That's my problem. I only have one group that I play every other Saturday with, and they're in person, but I don't DM it, so I don't create this stuff. Wouldn't be helpful to me. But it does make me want to play in person. All my usual in-person people moved away. I totally understand that. I've been there. It's why I started playing online. We have Immortal Hybris and Glory. It's a 5e ancient Greece mixture into 5e. It looked interesting. There's a scattered dice mechanic that they have for it. I'm not sure I follow exactly. There is a quick starter guide that you can download, which is always helpful. I've got to make sure I add that to Plaguebound. But yeah, so it seems like your typical 5e thing, but it's made quite a lot of money. It's made its goal, so it's going to get printed. So I'll be interested in it. All right, this one seemed interesting. So Mothership, I played Mothership at Page, and it's basically a D10 system, and it's kind of like it's Mothership. The game is kind of like this aliens type, sci-fi horror type game. So this one is basically adding a Starship Trooper type feel to it. I mean, obviously they're not calling it Starship Trooper, but you can tell by the logo it's Starship Trooper. So, or I guess it could be very similar to the game there, but still, the point being is there's going to be lots of bugs and that type of thing. It looks really cool and interesting. I think it's a good fit for Mothership. So definitely on my radar. Into the Dark. I put this one on here because of the art. I won't lie. I like the art. But what this is basically it's a 0 level funnel for DCC. So Dungeon Crawl Classics. So you basically start at level 0. You basically fall into this hole and you have to survive. Um, so it looks really cool. It looks interesting. It definitely has that DCC feel. It has illumination cards. Um, I think it looks cool. They're saying that everything's going to be complete by May 2025 with a product release of July. That's a good time frame. I hope they hit it because it's a good time frame. I don't play DCC. I played a level 0 funnel in DCC once. Interesting concept. Yes, it's a very interesting concept. I've played one with the Avenue Studios folks doing Pathfinder. And it was an interesting concept. Level 0 funnels are seem to be interesting. Okay. This one I had to put on here. A cat crawl exploration game about a cat in a new home. So the whole point of this, it's a zine RPG, and you're basically a cat that's exploring their new home. Community art. So it's so cute and small, and it looks really cool. I don't know if it uses its own system or what system it uses. Does it say? Cat crawl. Doesn't say what system it uses. But it looks... GMLS solo game with 1 to 4 players. So it uses its own system. It needs no prep. Just open the zine and start playing. But you're a cat exploring a home. That's all you are. I love it. It's great. This is a friend of the channel. DM Dave Publishing is a really good company. He comes out with some really good 5e stuff. And this is basically Broadsword's Guide to Werebeast. It's basically were-rats, were-spiders, and all kinds of were-crap. It basically is for 5e. It's basically all about werebeast. I think it would be cool. He does really good work. He gets really good artists. He has really good... He does really good work. Okay, this one was interesting. Crafting Heritage, Cultures, and War. It's a world-building system. It can be used... they say it's 4.5e, I believe somewhere. Yeah, free 5e, pushed out settings. But you could basically use it for anything, is what they basically say. It's basically a crafting... world crafting system, and it's mainly, this one's about how crafting different cultures and heritages of your races and your stuff like that. So it looks interesting. It has 27 days left. It's already made its budget, so it's gonna get published. I was interested. Terror Under Deep. This only has 6 days left, but I put it on here because I didn't put it on last week, and I thought it needed to be shown. It's basically an adventure for 5e. It's basically a box of an adventure. There's a download PDF you can preview. There's you can get giant minis. It comes with different crawls. It looked fun. Looked like it was entertaining. So I put that on there. All right. So we're down to crowdfunding coming soon. So I put these on here because they're not getting released yet, but they're really coming out soon. So the first one is our friends over at Two Little Mice are expanding their game Household. So if you don't know what Household is, is basically you're a whole bunch of little people living in a big house, and it's a 5e supplement where you basically live in the house and you have to survive in this house. They're expanding it and they're making a garden outside that you have to survive in. So, they do really good work, Two Little Mice. They're the makers of Outgunned. If you haven't seen them, Outgunned is really interesting because it uses a dice mechanic of Yahtzee. Basically, you have to get, based on the number of pairs you get, is the number of successes you have. If you get all 6 dice as the same number, you get to basically control the scene. Your DM lets go, and you say what happens in that scene. So, I'll be interested in seeing this. I'm going to put myself count me in. So that one comes out. I don't know when they're going to release this. Oh, 20 days. Great. Plaguebound's going to be competing against it. I don't want that, but that's okay. This is the Festival of Forgotten. It's basically a dark carnival adventure for 5e. I'm not a 5e person. We all know that here. It's not that I don't like the system. I just think it's overly done and too complex. And everything that people adds to it just adds the complexity. But this one looked really cool. Another 5e module, because, well, a lot of people do 5e modules. This one is basically Salvic Dark Fantasy one. So there's a whole bunch of different Salvic game lore and that type of stuff. It gives a story, it gives a setting. There's 20 new items, 20 plus monsters, rules for magic, new runic divination, creating potions, healing, 4 new classes, including Monster Hunter and Alchemist, 3 new subclasses. It looks cool. Alright. Here you go, Skellum. Monster Truckers Long Haul into the Wastelands. It's a RPG that you basically have to do long haul into wastelands. It looks interesting. Who would thought that you would have come out with a trucking RPG? But they've come out with a trucking RPG. I am definitely following that one. Because it looks interesting. 61 days, so it's still got some time to bubble. But it looks interesting. And of course, we have the wonderful Plaguebound coming in 36 days, 15 hours. There is a baseball dice game that's been going on for decades that they still sell yearly. Yeah, there is. So Plaguebound, launching in March. It's a dark fantasy. Hey, Jay, how you doing? These guys are the Zebians. They're basically half amphibians that live half in water, half out of water. They're very Roman in their culture. But there's 7 specific races. You got your Yorviks, who are a large race that is hunters. They kind of act like predators. You have the I gotta change this. I can't use the word arrowbear. I forgot. The Craighorns, who are basically just owlbears that have opposable thumbs. You have the Enokins, who are mushroom race people who have a very Western culture. Yeah, I forgot to change it, so I've got to change that probably very soon. You have the Terrax, who are a lizard folk that have feathers, because dinosaurs had feathers. Why can't lizard folk? Um, uh, you have the Z3, which are imp-like creatures that have, that are very greedy and, kind of work on it. So there's 7 different classes. There's all kinds of cool things going on with that one. I say that as the one who made it. Charity bundles. Charity bundles. We have 6 days left with the 5e adventure crafting and monsters. We talked about this last week, so I'm not going to go over it too much. I just wanted to let people know you have 6 days left on it, if you want to get it. It includes a whole bunch of cool VTT stuff, for Foundry, so, and other VTTs. So you might think about subscribing to this if you do a lot of digital gaming. And the last 2 aren't technically RPGs, but they could be useful to RPGs. We have the Witchblade series and Darkness series by comic books. So they're comic books, basically, that could be used for inspiration. So I put them on there. And then you have the ElfQuest series, which obviously that has some inspiration right there. Also a comic book series. Well, technically book / comic book, like a graphic novel. So that's all I got for news. There's not much going on today. Anybody? So yeah, so that's what's going on with me. So Ironbound, like I said at the beginning of the thing, it should be, it's at the editors. So I'm waiting for the editors to get it back to me. Once they get it back to me, I'll plow through it to get it all edited. And then what will happen is we'll get that to the publisher, to the printer, to get me a print copy of it so I can see what it looks like. And then from there, we'll go get it to you guys and get it into your hands. Probably before I get the print version to me, I should be able to get you guys a copy of the PDF for everybody who ordered So I'm hoping PDF launch sometime mid-March, if not mid-March, early April. So that's where Ironbound is. March 13th, we have the release, the backer kit release of Plaguebound. So I'm looking forward to all of that. That's all I have for you folks, though, today. I don't have much. I know that... let me switch here. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I have. But, yeah, I definitely got to go change that wording. I didn't mean to have that wording on there. But... yeah, so, alright, I'm done yammering. You guys make sure you guys have fun adventuring, and have a great night. Good night, all.